I like challenges, and one of the hardest challenge is to make the game and actually finish it, and that's what I'm gonna challenge myself this time. Before starting this devlog, I wanna thank you for 100 subscribers. If you are not a subscriber, subscribe now for more devlogs and all kind of tutorials. Thank you guys for your support, and let's start the video. I started by making a new Unity project, like I do every week, and never look back to it.
Throwing flashbang.
So, after fixing my eyes, I started by creating the ground and the player, which is just a useless circle, at least for now. Then I add the colliders to the player and the ground, and the rigid body 2D to my player since my movement is based on physics. Now the player is just a circle, and it's shame for great artists like me to leave it like this. So the time has come to upgrade the player model and make it looks like a real character. And after a lot of thinking and working, say hi to the new player.
An outlined circle.
For some reasons my new player looks like the old one, so I had to change his color to blue. Now I finished set up the project and I'm ready to start coding. The idea of the game is very simple. You drag the screen to show the player. If you hit a target, you get points. If you don't hit anything, you cannot show the player again. And if you hit the ground, you die. I have the idea, now let's start coding. After some time, I made a script that shows you the direction of the player based on how you drag the screen. For example, if you drag the screen from up to down, the player will move down to up. It's the same mechanic that Angry Bird use. The way it works is very easy. You have the point A, it's where you click the mouse, and the point B is the current position of the mouse. And then we calculate the direction and the angle. And then rotate the player based on that angle. And then apply force and shoot the player in the new direction. It's very easy and only with some works like a charm, definitely, with no problems. After not 3 hours and not finding a stupid mistake in my script, it works now very fine and how I wanted. I also add a slow motion effect when you are aiming, so it will be much easier to aim, and increase the force applied to the ball. After finishing the movement, I start by blocking the level by making it 3 colliders, so the player will not move away from the camera and stay in the level. Now the core mechanic of the game is finished, it's time to make the targets. I create the target, and guess what, is another circle, but it's orange and it have a particle system when it destroy and a particle system before it spawns. Speaking of spawning, it's time to make the spawner that will spawn the random targets in the level. And just with a little bit of, I made a simple script that will choose a random location in the level and spawn the targets. But we have a small problem that the targets sometimes spawn too close to each other or on top of each other. At this point I was really tired and I couldn't find the solution, and it's dinner time, so I got to take a break and take a dinner. After eating, my brain that enabled is set to true, and I had an idea and start programming for a while. The idea was to cast a circle overlap from the spawn location, and if it's overlapping with something, that means we are close to it and don't spawn, and take one from the loop so it starts once more. And if it returns false, means there is nothing close to the spawn location and initiate the game object. Back to Unity, and somehow it works with no problems from the first try. It's really weird, but life can be easy sometimes. Now I made all the gameplay mechanics, but the game still looks really ugly. So it's time for some post-processing. And you know what I'm talking about.
Bloom.
If you don't know what is Bloom, Bloom is the name of a sauce that makes your game looks like a AAA game. The game looks good now, but one important thing is still missing. I made a trail that followed the player using Unity particle system and add the screen shake when I hit the target. The game is more enjoyable and feel much better now. I thought everything is fine and I'm really having fun developing this game, but something happened. Unity crashed and I have to call my friend Task Manager to help me closing it, and I was really scared to lose everything and start the game from scratch. Luckily when I opened the game I wasn't too far away from the last time it crashed, so I have to tweak some values and the game back how it was. I start making a simple level by adding some obstacles. It will act now for a placeholder until I make some more levels for the game. The player can shoot the ball only one time at the start of the game, and he regains the shot only if he hits a target. If you hit 2 targets you get 2 shots. You can see it now, so I made a simple UI that shows you how many shots left, and a game over screen, and make the player actually die when he hits the ground. I made a simple check to see if the player collide with something have the tag ground. If it is, I will destroy the player and enable the game over text. Later I will change the tags and add more ways for the player to die. Maybe I will add some more targets that you should not collide with them, or some more types of worlds. I also made the particle system effect for the ground, so it feels like more poisoned and something the player should not hit. The game now is playable and fun, but it's so far from finished. I will add more levels and more ways to finish the game. The plan is to kill certain amounts of targets before jumping to the next level. For example, in the first level you have to kill 20 targets before jumping to the level 2. The game will have multiple gameplay modes like deathmatch, survival, and this mode when you have to complete the levels. In the next devlog I will focus on making the UI and making other types of enemies and some more upgrades for the player. This is the end of this devlog. If you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss up with the next devlog. Thank you guys for watching and see you next time.